Welcome back to the Rendezvous, folks. Glad to have you here. You can sure tell Christmas is getting close. Yep, it's in the air. I spent Saturday, I was quite busy last Saturday. I was photographing a couple Christmas events, surprisingly. I had a lot of fun. And it took me, from about 2 o'clock on till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, I was pretty busy with my camera, which is good because I haven't been that busy. And it was nice to actually be out taking some pictures. The camera I used, now of course, you've seen from my thumbnail that I'm asking, is the D600 full frame camera, is it still worth hanging around, having it on your shelf? Well, that was kind of a facetious question because, yeah, in my opinion, it certainly is. It's a good camera. And I used it on Saturday on both events, mainly because it was tight quarters. I didn't have a lot of room to stand back. And if I had used a crop sensor camera, it would have made it even a little harder. And also, I wasn't sure about the lighting. I wasn't sure if it was going to be pretty dark or not. And I haven't used the D600 for quite some time. And I thought, I think I'm just going to use that and then I'll be covered. And I'm glad I did. I felt good to have that old camera back in my hands again. So the first event was at Primrose Retirement Center here in Wasilla. And they were having a Christmas tea. And boy, howdy, it was a nice tea. And the residents there really enjoyed it. And it made my heart feel good to walk around there and talk to the people and visit with them and take their pictures and laugh and they were having a good time. It was all the ladies there at Primrose and their families and their grandchildren, great-grandchildren. It was a lot of people there. I guess there was 90 people there all sitting around the tables. And it was a nice event. I took, I don't know, over 100 pictures or maybe 150, I don't know. And it was fun. So at the tea party, this is what I used right here. Just exactly what I'm holding, no flash. And I just used available light at the Primrose Retirement Center. And white balance was kind of tricky. I had to do some things on post-processing to get the white balance right because there's window lighting, there's LEDs, there's neon, there's tungsten. I mean, it's all there. So yeah, it was kind of tricky to get the lighting, the white balance right. Anyway, it was fun. And that was the first event, and I was there for 2 hours, probably about 2 hours. And so I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I took. And then from there, we'll go on to the next little event that I went to. I'm trying to keep my videos a little shorter than I normally do, but they always stretch out anyway. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these photos I took at Primrose and see what you think about them. They're nice pictures, and I enjoyed taking them. So yeah, let's go right now. Well, those didn't come out too bad. I think I was pretty happy with all of them there, and I was so appreciative of the people there that I got no hassles about taking their picture at all. It was just fun to be there. So the next event was my wife's clinic had their annual Christmas party, and every year I go there and I take a group picture for their Christmas card every year. So their Christmas card picture, here it is right here. No, that's not really their card. That was my very first shot testing for exposure. I thought it was a fun picture. Anyway, but afterwards, then after we took the pictures and everything, then we ate dinner, nice prime rib dinner. It was really good. Yeah. And then after that, they had some games. And during those games, this year I tried something different. Usually I just kind of occasionally just take a picture during the games, nothing real serious. But this year I decided I was going to become a little more serious about taking these candid, I guess you'd call them candid photographs of the employees and their spouses who show up for that dinner party. So after much thought, I knew it was going to be dark, and I wasn't going to use a flash. I'm not using a flash for any of these pictures. And I thought, it's going to be dark. I've got that 80 to 200, my old 80 to 200 f2.8. I thought about it, I'm going to put that on my D600 and use a high ISO. And that's what I did. So I set my ISO to almost as far as it'll go on that D600. It ended up being 8063 ISO. I'd never shot that high on the D600 before, so I set it there. And I started taking pictures, and I soon found out that at f2.8 with a telephoto lens, and it was mostly, I used it between 120 and maybe 150 millimeter on this zoom lens. And the shutter speed ended up being anywhere from 1/100th to about 1/125th, which is very, very marginal for that focal length that I was using. Critical focus, folks, it became very important right there in that. I mean, these people were moving around a lot. They didn't know I was taking their picture. They were not posing. I was just sitting on a couch across the room. I was probably, 15, maybe 20 feet from most of the people that I photographed. And so, yeah, they're visiting and joking around and having fun playing these little games that we were playing. And I found out that at f2.8, at 130 millimeter, boy, oh boy, do you got to be right on with your focus, because there's not much room for error. I mean, you could be focused on the far eye if they're kind of turning 45 degrees to you could accidentally get focused on the far eye, and then in just about 2 inches, the right eye is blurry, and that's all the room you have at f2.8. But boy, the background looks nice. But anyway, so I took probably 30, I don't know how many it was, 30 pictures during that time, because, they kept me busy with these games and writing stuff and things like that. But so I took 30 pictures, and when I got them back, I started, when I got back to the studio, I started looking at them. And they were all pretty good, actually, but they just weren't sharp. I mean, I was missing focus, or I had camera moving a movement at one hundredth of a second or something like that, or there was subject movement because they were not sitting still, and this was a real challenge for me, and I think I learned some stuff, and maybe next time I try it, I'll know a few things to do differently. But folks, it was a challenge. I think the hardest thing was the focus. That I really struggled with that. I could tell I was missing focus just minutely, and it would kind of just make the picture just, it was okay, but not as good as I wanted it. I looked through those pictures and looked through them, and finally, folks, I found one of my shots that was in good, sharp focus on the eye, and it's this one here that I'm showing you right now of this girl, this pretty girl, and this is a picture that was in focus. Now that's one I use. This is part of, for my thumbnail, I used this photograph. So I zoomed in to make the thumbnail. I zoomed in 150% on this and cropped it. And this is what it looks like at 150% without the writing of the, that I put on the thumbnail. So this is the original crop at 150% of her eyes. You notice that the near one, that would be her left eye. Yeah, that would be her left eye, is in really good focus. I mean, that for the high ISO of 8063, at that ISO, I'm real happy with this picture. You'll see a little noise in there, not a lot, but it's noticeable. But I don't mind it at all. It kind of makes a nice picture. But if you look at that eye and then look at her right eye, you'll see a big difference in just that short distance. This is what I'm talking about, critical focus here. Her right eye and eyebrow and eyelashes are not in focus on her right eye at all, but on the left eye, it's pretty nice. I mean, it really is. And if you notice the ridge of her nose, all those fine hairs, tiny hairs on the ridge of her nose. So they're in pretty sharp focus too. I'm thinking maybe I was probably my focus point might have been a little bit more on those, but the eye is still plenty sharp for me. So that's how critical you have to be at f2.8, especially with a zoom lens like I was using, or any kind of a telephoto lens. Man, you got to be right on with your focus, and if you're working in a controlled environment where your model is posing for you and holding still, and you're on a tripod, you might be able to do it pretty good. I didn't use a tripod. All these are handheld. So yeah, I was pushing the limits, my limits anyway, because I don't hold my camera quite steady, I don't think, as I used to. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I was real happy I found this one picture of this girl that was good, and I wish I'd have got more. Most of them were okay, but not perfect. And this one's not quite perfect, but it's darn close. So that was my Saturday, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the prime rib dinner, and we got home at 10 o'clock at night, and 11 o'clock, sometime around there, and I was full to the brim, and I was sleepy. I just went right to bed. Next morning, I think that would be Sunday morning, I hopped out of bed. No, I didn't hop out of bed. I kind of just eased out of bed. And came out here into the studio and started looking through the pictures, and I was real surprised at the white balance. Man, I had to work hard on the white balance at both these locations. I had to do I had to do a lot of work with white balance because the different lightings, and I think that that high ISO had something to do with it too. But I got it figured out. The camera was telling me at the employee party, I had it on auto white balance. The camera was shooting at about 2450, 2500 around there, white balance. I found that I had better flesh tones at 23. It made a big difference in just a little bit of movement there. And at most of my pictures you'll see here, I set at 23. So anyway, let's go take a look at those pictures, and then we'll come back and I'm going to show you the one I selected to print, and it came out really nice. So yeah, let's go look at the Christmas party pictures. Here we go. I'm pretty happy with, I can't believe I'm still using this old lens, this old beat up 80 to 200. Some parts don't work on it and everything, but man, she takes nice pictures, really nice pictures. And I'm sure glad I didn't sell it at a yard sale or something. Someday I might get a newer one where the manual focus works on it, but I don't know, maybe not. But it's a good lens. If you wanted to get a good 80 to 200 f2.8 lens, it doesn't have VR, none. So if you want VR, you got to spend a lot more money. But you can get one of these pretty reasonable. So I hope you enjoyed those pictures. Like I said, we had a lot of fun, a lot of laughing, and it was just really relaxing to be there that night. So I looked through the pictures, and I had some good ones at the retirement center, also at the employee party. But so I had to pick one picture to print, and it was a challenge for me because I liked several of them. But I really like this one. I really like this one. So look at that. Isn't that sweet? Such sweet kids. Oh, and the lighting, I didn't use a flash on this at all. None. It was just available light. And a hand held it. It was such a nice picture. So let me read to you. So this was taken with a Nikon D600 full frame camera. The lens was a 24 to 85 millimeter Nikon. This picture was shot at 52 millimeter at 1/100th of a second, f4.5, ISO 4000, available light, no flash. It's just perfect. It was perfect. I love this picture. This is 12 by 18 on a 13 by 19 sheet of Epson cold press natural paper. Perfect picture. I love it. Bring tear to my eye. Okay, that's about it. If you would like to see all these photos that I've showed you today, if you would like to see them, on a computer screen at a larger version, not moving around, just follow the link down below, and it'll take you to my Smug Mug page, and I'll have a link right to these pictures there. I guess that's all I got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you again before Christmas, I'm sure. All right, bye now.